really, in this movie, wanted to see Magneto do something we'd never seen before in the X-Men films, but we had seen quite often in the X-Men comic books. He has massive amounts of power, and we wanted to see an example of that. And early on, Avi and I were looking through comic books, and we found issues of the Ultimate X-Men in which Magneto takes Manhattan hostage. And one of the ways he does that is by bending all of the bridges and separating it from New Jersey and Staten Island, Long Island. And there were these great images, huge splash page images within the comics of bridges torn back and bridges moved off of their initial foundations. And we sent those images to the studio to say, look, wouldn't it be cool to see something like this? And the studio said, not only would it be cool to see something like this, we want to see this.
The visual effects in this movie are being led by John Bruno, who is a multiple Academy Award nominee and Academy Award winner. And one of the sequences we have is with the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco as Magneto attempts to get to Alcatraz. Not wanting to swim there and not wanting to get a boat with all of his mutant buddies to get there, he literally goes onto the Golden Gate Bridge and rips it from its moorings and flies it over to Alcatraz Island and plants it in place so that he can take over the island.
That was the first thing started back in April 2005. I hired a few guys, friends of mine, storyboard artists, and we just started drawing ideas and doing a lot of research. There was no art department at this point. Just, as I always used to say, scenes we'd like to see. You just sort of do a lot of drawings and you pin them up on the wall and you look for the shots. So you just sort of play with it. That's the fun part of being a visual effects supervisor, is this part where you can just sort of imagine and play, and you really don't, there's nothing really at stake. You're just sort of coming up with fun ideas. And when Brett finally came on, it's like, okay, I like this, can we do it? This is sort of our planning of areas we'd like to see pull apart. Over old Fort Ross here at Fort Point, all this will come down, come apart, but the bridge will separate at this point here. What you see here is the magnetic field that keeps the bridge as one piece, but what we're going to try to show is how any part can stick together. Like if you're magnetized a row of paper clips, they all sort of stick together and hold each other up. Well, that's what this bridge is going to do, and then it's going to be moved and basically end up over near Pier 39 in San Francisco. We actually went through this process of measuring